Everyone, today I want to continue on with what I'm calling Michael Crichton's summer movies, and I'm going to talk a little bit about 1972's Pursuit. And this was a TV movie, but it was the first movie that Michael Crichton ever directed. It was made for ABC television. It clocks in at 74 minutes, so it would have been a 90-minute primetime film. And it stars Ben Gazzara. It has a really terrific cast led by Ben Gazzara, who is a government agent investigating a right-wing extremist politician. He is suspected of subversive activities, which indeed he was. And we see him making a political speech in which he employs a phrase. He uses a phrase that is eerily similar to "Make America Great Again." Michael Crichton was, if nothing else, he was prescient of what was to come. But in these days, in 1972, this kind of right-wing extremism was seen as lunatic fringe, which this would-be politician, played by E.G. Marshall, and he is going off the rails, and he wants payback, and he wants to assassinate the president. So in the opening sequence, underneath the credits, we see a government a convoy of trucks that are bloodily overwhelmed by a force that steals long gas-like canisters. And this is a nerve gas, and two different nerve gases, and when they combine, they create this weapon of mass destruction, and it's a binary gas. And the novel that Michael Crichton wrote under the name John Lang, he did not write this under the name of Michael Crichton. So it involves a political assassination. But it's going to wipe out the entire city of San Diego as well. So it's very much a cat and mouse game. E.G. Marshall knows that he's being tailed. He wants to play around with Ben Gazzara's puzzle solving skills. We see Gazzara doing crossword puzzles all the time. So he's sort of like, oh, I'm going to outsmart. Are you going to be able to outsmart me? And it's a very involved procedure for that E.G. Marshall goes through in order to draw Ben Gazzara's interest in trying to solve the problem that he is facing. And problem solving very much part of the Michael Crichton auteur view of his movies, his books. So this is Crichton's first directing movie. He was not allowed to write it. He had a dramatist strain he'd already had where it was taken from his novel. He did not have that much to do with the making of the film. But he wanted to both write and direct, but it is taken from his novel. Robert Dozier, who is a longtime television writer, writes the teleplay to this film. And, you know, it's a very low budget, despite having this terrific cast. It's amazing the kind of cast that these TV movies have, because this was 1970s, this was the heyday of the TV movie. And in 1972 itself, there was Something Evil, Steven Spielberg. I think that's the first feature that he directed. He may have directed a Columbo episode by then. And a lot of these TV movies could confront social issues head on. And in a very small part, only one scene, we get Martin Sheen, and he was at the same time filming a very significant social themed movie called That Certain Summer with Hal Holbrook, which was probably the first movie that ever took on, at least TV movie, that took on homosexuality, a homosexual relationship. And he's in this, so Martin Sheen's in this with this fantastic mop of hair, in a really good scene as he has been a Confederate of the E.G. Marshall character. And so he's Gazzara trying to get the information out of him to see what it is that E.G. Marshall might be up to. So, as always, with Crichton, we get both the fascination with science and scientific advances, technical new discoveries, fascination with it, but also a fear, worry. He's warning the public that we can't be complacent, hubris. We can't. There's things going on in the scientific world that could be destructive. They could help, but they could also destroy. So at 74 minutes, it runs by pretty fast, and there's not a whole lot of sense of urgency or suspense until the final sequences. It's basically this cat and mouse game. Gazzara plays this character very subdued. He's just trying to figure things out. A terrific actor. All these actors, Ben Gazzara had been in TV movies like Run for Your Life. He had a TV series that was on for a few years called Run for Your Life. But he was also in John Cassavetes movies, where he is, much more of a serious actor. I always love him from Otto Preminger's Anatomy of Murder in 1959. And E.G. Marshall also, I can't remember his legal show he had, but always an excellent actor in 12 Angry Men and so many great films. William Wyndham, mostly a TV actor, but Joseph Wiseman. I love seeing Joseph Wiseman in this movie. So, like I say, the suspense is not all that great for a suspense movie. But it is intriguing. They use a timer and like we have so much, all the events take place in one day, and we soon learn that there's a certain time that they have to figure out and disable whatever it is that E.G. Marshall is up to. We get a commentary with Lee Gambin and Tristan Jones. Lee Gambin is one of those commentary who gives a commentary where he mentions every movie ever made. He loves them all. Everything's fantastic, and he just rattles them off. But he does also have some pretty good information as well and some insight. Tristan Jones seems to be a expert on Michael Crichton movies, and he has read the book Michael Crichton's book Binary. And there are a couple of real substantial changes from the book to the movie that is kind of interesting. I wasn't able to find the book. I wanted to read the book, but I wasn't able to find it, at least not very quickly. And he also, they point out what a male-centric film this is. There's not a woman in the film, in the cast. And that plays in, if you've listened to any of my 1972, I think I've done about 35 videos on the movies of 1972. That is part and parcel of what movies were like in 1972. Now, in TV movies, that wasn't always the case, because there was a very large female audience, I would presume, for these TV movies. So Pursuit would fit into my 1972 series. I'm not putting it into. I hadn't put it into the series. Didn't even really think about it because it is a TV movie. But having listened to Lee Gambin's recitation of all the TV movies that came out in 1972, I'm thinking I might have to include half a dozen of those, because that was a pretty significant period for the TV movie. So next up in this Michael Crichton series, summertime, he makes the kind of writes the kind of stories, and the movies are very much, there's nothing tremendously deep about them, but they're always intriguing. So next up will be Westworld. And this is Crichton's, I don't think that's based on one of his novels. That was an original screenplay. Terminal Man, which I'm halfway through the book on Terminal Man. and then I'll probably do Coma and also The Great Train Robbery. Okay, thanks a lot for everybody who managed to listen. I do appreciate it. Comments are always welcome. Take care.